Hello everyone, I am Romit kaware. Welcome back to the third submodule of this series. In this presentation, we will discuss the policy gaps and opportunities in the segment in the sediment management. We will start with a quick overview covering the current situation and the need for policy interventions. We will then underscore the various gaps and challenges that are there, and then we'll highlight what can be the policy interventions in this area. So let's begin. Policy challenges in the sediment management arise from complex interactions among the various natural processes, human activities, and sediment dynamics. Effective solutions necessitate thoroughly comprehending the environmental, economic, and social factors. This interdisciplinary nature of the sediment management requires coordinated efforts across sectors, which would involve the policymakers, scientists, engineers, local communities, industrialists, and academicians. Promising approaches such as sustainable sediment management, dredging, agriculture may be involved to develop innovative ways to tackle sedimentation impacts. Integrating adaptive and resilient strategies into sediment management policies can also help in strengthening the various local communities' ability to handle changing environmental conditions, which are induced due to climate change and extreme weather events. Now, when we talk about the Indian Ocean region, it is situated at a significant convergence point. Yet, the various nations fall behind their global counterparts, particularly the European Union or the North Atlantic countries, which have more established regional agreements in place. The Indian Ocean region in the Indian Ocean region, existing international laws, projects, and programs lack comprehensive participation from all nation countries or address regional issues. Notably, there are very few organizations which encompass all the Indian Ocean region members. The Indian Ocean Rim Organization for Regional Cooperation (IORA) is the most extensive one, but mostly focuses on the economic development and has impeded widespread adoption. The absence of a regional sediment management framework has resulted in a disjoint research and enforcement effort, hindering effective governance for the Indian Ocean ecosystem. Unlike the ASEAN, which has defined regulations like non-interference and consensus-based decision-making, the IOR lacks robust regional rules and a distinct collective identity. In fact, the recent Intel panel report on climate change report emphasizes that the potential global and regional disasters in the coming decades would lead to more issues in the Indo-Pacific. Thus, collaborative planning is essential, especially for the vulnerable island states which would face existential threats from the natural disasters. When we talk about the IORA, it has the capacity to protect the region's interest among the unfolding climate crisis as well. But the decline in multilateralism underscores the need for cooperative multilateral body capable of addressing global challenges. The climate change should act as a wake-up call for the members of the Indian Ocean region, motivating action on the climate change related issues to develop a long-standing regional sediment management framework. When we talk about the rapid urbanization and development in the Indian peninsula or the Indian subcontinent, these are causing new challenges like altering the river dynamics, reducing reservoir storage capacity due to sedimentation. Thus, the Ministry of Jal Shakti has introduced the national framework for sediment management. This focuses on a holistic sediment management through integrated river basin management plans. It provides a reference to all guidelines policies dealing with the various aspects of sediment management for facilitating the stakeholders, particularly the state governments, in planning strategies and implementing projects for the sediment management in watersheds, rivers, reservoirs, or lakes and water bodies. Yet, the unified coordination within the framework needs to be improved, posing a significant challenge to involve the various government agencies, departments, and private sector as intended in the policy. To ensure an effective policy execution, enhanced integration and collaboration among the stakeholders is essential. Bridging the gap between policy formulation and real world impact would require an active inclusion of stakeholders in decision making to consider their perspectives and resolving their concerns. The absence of a centralized monitoring body it complicates the implementation of the policy changes which are crucial for sustained growth. Thus, the Indian marine research needs required a dedicated centralized authority. There is a need for more synthesis of diverse studies. This absence of centralized body has led to a sea blindedness, which indicates an insufficient understanding of sediment related issues overshadowed by the terrestrial solutions. A regulatory body must be done to monitor data quality, environmental impact assessments, data collection processes, and proper documentation, posing obstacles to effective research studies in the region. Now, India's governance also faces obstacles due to its geopolitical situation. There are various ministries, including Agricultural Ministry, the Ministry of Jal Shakti, and organizations like Inland Waterways Authority, Indian Navy, the Coast Guard, all dealing with sediment related issues. However, there is a notable lack of coordination among these entities, which leads to confusion. More clearly defined roles and responsibilities are needed. At the same time, local governments commonly lack the expertise in monitoring the water bodies. Monitoring lakes, rivers, and marine areas is crucial for pollution assessment, understanding the marine environment, and planning rejuvenation plans. The limited resources also prompt reliance on the traditional time-consuming methods which hinder the effective monitoring. It also requires intensive staff training, adding complexity and cost. Thus, the lack of awareness among the various authorities results in inefficient operations. Sometimes political interference can also disrupt local decision making, causing a biased project prioritization, unequal resource allocation, and disruptions due to changes in political leadership. Effective policy planning and execution also require the active involvement of local communities, utilization of local insights, and consideration of specific traits of the target areas. However, there is often of more in-depth knowledge of local regions, which would lead to the creation of customized policies. Challenges related to funding, institutional capacity, and monitoring methods may constrain lawmakers' review and updating of national policies. For example, the Dhamra port project in Orissa had stirred controversy due to its proximity to the Gahirmatha beaches, which are crucial for nesting and mating of rare olive ridley turtles. Critics like the various environmentalists, lawmakers, NGOs have expressed concerns about the project's lack of stakeholder consultation and disregard for the future consequences as well. Thus, when we also talk about the India's rapid urbanization, it is now transforming into the landscape caused flooded with encroachments on urban commons and water bodies. This disrupts various water channels and alters water contours and converts open spaces into housing projects. Urban development plans often lack the restrictions on settling in flood-prone areas or government-owned spaces near the river or the water bodies. There is a significant disparity between the Western-rooted urban planning theories and the realities of the Indian urbanization, which is marked by informality and retrofitting. The sediment-related environmental problems often are neglected due to the expensive nature of the sediment measurements and the dynamic nature of erosion, movement, and deposition of sediments. Historically, flood risk management and river ecosystem conservation were not integral to urban planning, which led to a disconnect in the academic disciplines as well. There is a flaw in the current urban planning system as it fails to include the sediment management perspective and the issues due to the sedimentation. Thus, there is a need for a more holistic regional cooperation. Enhanced communication among the nations in the IOR is crucial as dynamic shifts towards heightened competition for the scarce resources. Existing frameworks like the IORA or the BIMSTEC need improvement. Multilateral structures should integrate the sediment management, UDA, the marine spatial planning, and blue economic concepts to foster collaborations and address specific gaps in the region. Developing a comprehensive regional marine system is also vital, like the Sagar Vision Plan. We should embrace the region's demographic advantage for achieving the goal of a resilient region, prosperous economies, and healthy people. This should prioritize outreach, engagement, and sustainability. Uh, the collapse of the newfound cod fishery in Canada highlighted the detrimental effects of unregulated marine environment and posing risk to livelihoods and public health. Thus, prioritizing human intelligence is crucial for domain awareness. To avoid the information sharing issues from overlapping maritime authorities, there is need to have a proper centralized monitoring agency. India can draw lessons from the other nations like the European Marine Board, where an aquatic study centers collaborate under an unified EU legislative framework. There can be a single organization with a political and financial authority that could oversee the creation of such an agency. A group of ministers could handle the various organization matters and can construct a detailed plan for a government review. In fact, a systemic approach is crucial for evaluating a varied maritime region utilization and making informed decisions. Collaborative research in marine acoustics, partnership with institutions like the Ministry of Earth Sciences, the inquest or other research bodies is essential for the considering the unique nature of the Indian Ocean. The Niti Aayog can establish a comprehensive framework across the key industries to ensure a broader application with active involvement from the other organizations like the Maritime Research Center, which would provide flexibility and innovative perspectives. It should also prioritize the marine spatial planning for sustainable ocean management and international cooperation. There can be memorandum of understanding. For example, there was a one between India and Norway in 2019. There can be coastal zone management for formulating MSP strategies. The policy framework should also formalize marine research infrastructures to promote technological innovation. The India's commitment to the blue economy, aligned with the security and growth for all in the region, that is Sagar vision under the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, is also highlighted in the 50 study of Blue Economy Vision 2025. Another opportunity is the freshwater systems. So existing technological systems primarily focus on the sea or ocean exploration with a little emphasis on integration into freshwater systems. India global aquaculture producer needs sediment management strategies for sustainable operations, ecosystem restoration initiatives promoting collaboration like the Namami Gange program can be used. Corporate contributions to the CSR initiatives and project execution could also be included for projects like afforestation, wetland restoration, and biodiversity enhancement to restore the ecological balance and improve freshwater system health. There can be also an integration of the marine spatial planning. MSP is a collaborative process which would involve stakeholders from various sectors like fisheries, commerce, tourism, and conservation. It would include creation of regulations and establishing monitoring programs, compliance initiatives, incentives. MSP can also help in conducting environmental impact assessments for projects with ecological damages. A precise understanding of the sediment types can aid in MSP's zoning process. Integrating the sediment data can also enhance sediment stakeholder engagement through visual representations of sediment distribution and its characteristics. Continuous updating and integrating sediment classification data into MSP processes would enable an adaptive management. Thus, the underwater domain awareness framework, which is developed by MRC, is poised to contribute to a global policy frameworks and skill development significantly. Governance interventions at all levels is necessary to address region-specific needs, emphasizing the urgency to develop such capacity in blue economy. Sustainable urban planning is crucial for cities respecting natural topography and hydrology, preserving water bodies and floodplains, and integrating the sediment management. This would require more expert advice, necessitating experimental learning methods with robust feedback systems. Collaborative discussions between government agencies and ministries can also be done at grassroots levels. Thus, the UDA can complement the national framework for sediment management tailored to the unique conditions of a particular project. This approach can be then generalized to other similar projects as well. And with this, we'll end the discussion. Thank you.